Okay, did this begin? Did this begin? We're on a crash course. We're on a crash course into the new world to where we want to be 5 years old again. Why do we want to be 5 years old again? When everything was pure and you learned for the first time, when it was repetitive, and they were rewarded as they were taught in the way they understood. And as time goes on, your gratitude sinks deeper into your heart. As the child feels rewarded by the love of those that give that love, I don't want to just say parents. Parents. So what do I do? Ask me. There's nobody. Oh, good afternoon. Hey, Mighty Mouse. Oh my God. Where's the microprocessor that comes, the elephant that cometh the mouse, that chase it, that chase it, that chase it, right? We have a, in French, it's called a flèche, which is an arrow. We can also call it what looks like a flasher. Now, what's a flasher? They show what's under the covers. That's what a flasher is. So we can't take anything for granted. And then you can't also not take for granted that should I or should I not, and what made you make the decision, but you didn't tell anybody. So how can anybody know that you thought of the two sides? Oh, you couldn't have thought, you took it for granted, didn't you? No, you made a decision on both choices, and there was a reason why and why not. Why will I tilt this cup a little bit more than usual? Because there's only a little bit left. If the cup was full, I tilt it just a little bit. And as the cup goes down and empties out, I tilt it a little bit more. Another mathematical equation. Is the mouth opening or closing? What's happening to the angle of my cup? Because it's the natural things in the open area space of movement that you need to do these elements, because we were built based on creation. Bridges. We are bridges of energy. Hold on a second. My liver just told me something. Oh, you mean my liver doesn't talk? If my liver doesn't do its work, it talks to my whole body. And my doctor has proved it. Your liver's not working. I saw it in your blood. You saw it in my blood because you knew how to read the blood, so you know what's going on in my liver. Holy Jesus Murphy. Wow. And you're telling me numbers don't speak? Okay, let's just throw the numbers out of anatomy. Maybe we should jump on the moon. Wait a second, which moon? I want to go to the beginning, to where there were no moons. Is that where I should start? Where should I start? I'm all nervous. I don't know where to start. There's so much going on. We'll start with a shot of English and French. Understanding the male words and the female words. Those will give you numbers, which will create polarity. As I did in my last video, this is about the royal flush. And what happens in the royal flush, you absolutely need to take the same suit in the ace and bring it to the top, so nobody else can have that ace. In this position of the royal flush, okay, or of the, it's what do you call it if it's not a royal flush? It's a royal straight. It's just a straight, right? It's a straight. But the flush straight to the ace, that is the royal flush, where the eighth ace becomes the 13th card, where it was once the first card. So does it say anything about this one over here? Partaking B, A, BBA. Or is it actually Sorry. B, A, B. That's the way I would look at it. Or actually, maybe it's this way, actually. Yes, I like it that way better. No, is it this way? I'm going to tell you why. Because when you take the calculator and you want to go from 1 over to 9, there's an 8 position. So instead of just passing over and under to the other side where C is, okay, we go over the top and around over to the other side, passing through if you want to do it that way or that way, passing through the canal. Now, are we going to use this one as barred or not? I don't know. So we're going to go back to the straight flush. So here we're going to get 1. Here we're going to get 1 plus 3 equals to 4. Now let's see if this scenario can happen again. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6. This is one side, 1 through 6. Okay, the other side is 7 through 13. The first side and the second side of A. 1 and 3 equals 4. So once we add on, you see the last part over here, 4. Once we add on plus 4, 6 plus 4 equals to 10. 1 plus 0 equals to 1. So you can see the 4 that returns into 1 is the same replica. We now have 10 at one end, 1 at one end, 1 at the other. We have 1 at both ends. If I had 1 at both ends, what ends up to be in the center over here? What is the creation of the understanding of this equation? I want to think about this one more time. If this was the deck of cards and there were 13 cards, we would have the 6th card to end on one side, and we would have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we would have the king, the ace, the king, the queen, the jack, the 10, and the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The next one would be 8 and 7. So it would be 7 and 8. That would bring everything together. 9, 10, jack, queen, king. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I get this right? 9, 10, jack, queen, king, ace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If this was the game of pool, this would not work. 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I would be missing the 15 ball. That would be Mars. But it's this joining 2 balls over here that make up Mars. The 7 gateway is on the other side to the 8 heaven. So that would end up to be your 16 ball made up as what's missing over here. Do you follow how this thing works? Anyways, we're going to get into, let me rip this out and show you this. I want to do this again. It is the straight royal flush, where now the ace is in the first card and the ace would be the 14th. But it never plays the 14th because once it's played in a royal flush, there cannot be any other position for that suit. Therefore, I will start the suits at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king, ace. Now, ace has become big slick. The king has pulled into position, right? We're going to change the numbers here. We're going to call the ace the 13th card. In blackjack, okay, in blackjack, it can be used, okay, as ace 11. TH, time heaven, right? When you have ace, king, and blackjack together, ace, king together, they call it blackjack. They also call it big slick in poker. What does that mean? We have to figure out what this actuality can mean. What is the design that goes along with this? So through this, we now understand that our royal flush, okay, we can look at it two ways. Either we can use this as the 14th card, or we can replace the 13th card. So as the 14th card, you go 14 and 13, and 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In all actuality, this would be the 10th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This would be the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th, right? So this total over here would be 21, 31, 33, 43, 46, 56. It would be 60. It would be 60. If I move these cards down one notch, okay, it used to be, you see, I moved it up one notch to the 14th card. I put it after the 13th card. But if I move it back down a notch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, where the ace becomes the 13th card, we then have ace, 13, and 12, and 11, and 10, and 9. Okay, so that what is seen to be the value in the position of 14 inside the sun is now inverted to be missing and is now inside number 9. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the total over here is 25, 35, 36, 46, 58, representing the blue worlds. So anyways, this is what happens. So when all this happens, okay, when the ace goes missing, okay, we then, now the minimum to get anything in this game, okay, the 2 is the minimum. So now we're going to go 2, 3, 4. 2 times 3 times 4 in place of 1 times 2 times 3. In fact, 2 times 3 equals to 6. 2 plus 3 equals to 5. This is its first part of its creation. This is the first part of its creation. The second part will equal to 24 versus what was once 6. 2 and 4, 6, and 6. So the crisscross does not change. But the addition of 2 plus 3 plus 4, okay, which was once 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to 6. This one equals to 9. So right away you see that there's two different tunnels. Two different tunnels. Here's your 9. And I like to show it this way in the artwork. Here's your 6, creates the bridge inside the 8. And then just to show the artwork, right, that when you want to really see it deep, you see what you're seeing over here? You're seeing a pole. There's going to be a pole. Let me try and see if I can get that pole marked over here. That's the pole. And it's all mapped out by creating this design. And you see 4? Do you see 4 or do you see 6? Or is my pole? Showing that this design over here, and pending how many bricks, will show the angle for this element over here, whether it's a passage between two, whatever it is, whether there's multitudes of these that turn around and open up like an eye. When this turns, it'll push this apart. I'm just trying to think. As you already know, this is the Star of David. For those who haven't figured that one out yet, this becomes the Star of David. If I get this right, you see what I'm supposed to do is I transcend it as so. And then we just add the wings on. We add the wings and we put the cap and we get Merkaba. We get the giant square. We get the giant square, and then we get the 1 square, 2 square, and 2 half squares. Now, these squares are noted to be 4 areas. So noting that it's 4 areas, it's part of the Mars system, 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the Mars system, 9 rotates through these 4 areas. Although you use up 4 over here, when 9 rotates through 4, it'll use 1 area over here, 2 areas over here, and 2 areas over here. I'll show you. And look at that. It takes up 2/3 of an area over here. See the way that line cuts off 1/3 of 2/3? It's what I'm assuming on a 45 angle. So we have that. Whoa, we have that. And then in the same thing, again, we take off a 1/3 bit from this over here. And then, as you know, here is your 9 score. And then it shifts, or you can just turn it, whichever way. If you turn it, this can come down into this corner. So wherever this moves, it might be moving this gear over here. And that's why it's only 4. You flip this one around, this one will come into this corner. This will take up the area space here. And you can bring these together. So anyways, that might be a little confusing. So you did note that it is 6 and 9. It is the percentage C. It's represented by number 5. Just give me a second. I wanted to get something to drink. If you have any questions, let me know. A little thirsty. Okay. Okay. Just going to take a slight look. Always remember to think twice. Always balance on everything you do. And you can't answer to all the questions you are asked, because some of the questions will just have more questions. And there's no satisfaction. Someone else, whoever else, and anybody else in all society has to understand that somehow, for some reason, somebody else is also thinking of the same thing. It's just your impatience. And it doesn't matter how much time, it could be momentarily, that turns everything into a misunderstanding, which is why we bring out certain numbers. The word stand is part of ABC. First, ST, second, ND, third, RD. That is the part of stand. It is standard. Action, reaction. We need to whoa, Charlie, and slow down. And then we procrastinate. Shouldn't I? Should I? I don't like to rush. I certainly don't like to rush. And I wouldn't like anybody else to rush. But if I say 5 o'clock, and this is last Saturday, if you get here 5:05, you're late. You had 1 week. How come you didn't move your butt? The thing would be, you want me to rush? Told you last Saturday, it's Monday. You follow what I'm saying? And this is nobody at all. These are just stories that float. I got things I want to throw into the garbage right now. We have to remember Aquarius is inside of Q. Look at the brilliance of Aquarius. Red, 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 red. Aquarius word is a complete red word. So not only does it go with number 17, it will also go with red 27. And 17 and 27 are part of each other. They are part of the Venus creation through Jupiter. Polarity right inside its own word, red. You got red in the books, you got red in your blood, you're in the red. You're boiling, you're overheating, you're in the red, you got hot water, great, I'm taking a shower. So we were talking about another word. Where did I get to that word, red? Aquarius, every single letter, according to roulette, is all red. Every single one of them. If you look at core, okay, I always think, okay, of 4. Quad. Quadrilles. I can also think of quarter. If I was thinking of quarter, I might say 25 cents. 25-cent piece. Not 25 cents piece, but when not to use the S. When you think of quarters, I also think of the number 80. Because in French, they say 4 times 20. Because I'm an English person, I have to see it in translation. They're saying 80. They're saying 420. So I'm going to assume that time is in 20s. And then I can assume the quarters of time that are in 20s. So the quarter of time is in 20s. So if I have 4 times 20 equals to 80. But if I had 4 times 25 equals to 100. Now the invert time of numbers, but I'm not going to get there. I will show you that you do have one area. Let's call it this one. And you do have 8 areas that surround. We call it Jupiter. I like to call it Jupiter, Creator, and Fox. The reason for that is the separation of these numbers, of these letters, okay, is 9 and 9. 99 is a representation of 13, which is a representation of the sky pass to time heaven. Of heaven sent, CE entity, creation entity, the spirit, okay, right here, number IR, created by number 360 degrees, but I'm just going to go 0.36. 3 times 6 is 18 and 9, creating the 18th and the 09 letter. And if you create 09 letter, please don't misrepresent this for 196. When you represent this by 196, you automatically represent 13 by 13 and 14 by 14, which is the division of M and N inside the alphabet. The first 13 and the second 13, they are a lock for the center of all 13s. So this one is 169, which is 168 plus 1. Using squares, 1 square and 168 around it. And this one here is 196, okay? And I don't know what the formation for this one is, okay? By the way, there's an outside square of
48 and 40. This area, okay, will leave you your 88 sky system on a corner, one of the buildings, going around and around and around. You have to count the squares. I call it man because when you fall on 13, where did I write that? 13 here, 13. You have to call that 13 man, and it's man space. And you also have to understand it is the barman, number 21. That's right, 18, 19, 20, 21. So to run the bar, you got to be 21. And then if you want to be intelligent at the bar, you have to have the MITS, the IT system between M and Z, tying up the alphabet. But anyways, we're not going to do it that in Irish kite. 29 and 13 is 42, 52, 62, 68. V equals to 8, 9, 31. Bar is 21. 6 equals to 120, equals to the 7th gate. That 7th gate is in the moon. The word man has a 28 total for its numeric count in the word man, the 13th, the 1st, and the 14th, equaling to the cycle of the moon. The cycle of the moon to where you have a man at the age of 13, where 13, the numeric value, gives you 99. When it's split up between teen and thir, where this is time heaven. It begins at number 4. It begins at 4th, and the last one is 20th. The total is 204 plus 6. It is actually 184 plus 20 plus 6. The 6 is ABC, is the 1, 2, 3 that's not here. It is because we have 4th, 10th, 11th, all the way to 20th. But the French divide this up. The French already tell you that when you get to this number, 17, you are going to say this. When you get to 18, you are going to say this. And when you get to 19, you are going to say, when you get to 19, you are going to say this. So I want to try and figure out that if we're saying this, we're actually saying A, B, C, D, okay, with 7, 8, and 9. A, B, C, D gets the gateway, gets the heaven, gets the birth. So what comes back? Well, what does it come back to? Okay, A, B, C comes back to 6, and A, B, okay, A, B comes back to 3, and then A comes back to 1. 1, 3, 6, 24, 10. 1, 3, 6, 24, 10. So this 1, 3, 6 are the 613 laws of Moses. The 1, 3, 6, I'm just trying to, there's other formations of 1, 3, 6. Tekiah, Shavurim, Teruah, I'm just trying to think of it right now. So when you're creating these numbers, in order to create 9 on a cube, you need a 5 and a 4, a 6 and a 3. That's on the cube. Outside the cube to create 9, you have 7 and 2 and 1 and 8. But hold on a second. Hold on a second. Why can't we do that on a cube? If this cube, and you tell me that this is a like possibility of 9 dots, if you pan it out the same way, just like they have the professional cubes here. Okay, there are 9. So if there are 9, then if I look at this one, there are 8 that are not here. 1 and 8 is right over here. So this is telling me the whole of itself. If it tells me the whole of itself, then it will tell me the whole of itself. Therefore, I will put the polarity of 18 to 63. They become polarities because of what they're telling me. Here they're telling me, are they telling me 333 areas? Is this telling me, hold on a second, is this one telling me the 1-3 area? I have to understand their expressions. I don't fully understand. It's got to be discussed. Ready, Rudy? Complicated. No, not so complicated at all. If you were right next to me right now, you wouldn't find this complicated at all. Not one bit. So do we follow what's going over here? We have A, 1. Why don't we go B, B, 2, 2, C, C, 3, 3. And maybe we can do it this way now, and then we can come up with a different kind of numbers. As many as I shouldn't have mentioned that. Let's just stay away from this. So we were into quarter. So quarter is only a piece or a part of 4. Where with quarter, is it telling me there are 4? What if I only take 3 of 4? So if I took 3 or 4 and I was going in directions, and the direction would be 360, and I took 3 of 4, I would take 270. So if I took 270 and I went in this direction over here, I can meet in this, let me see, I can meet right over here. This would be my walking. I'm just trying to see if I'm doing this right. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Anyways, the new, I'm not doing this right. I'm not really sure where I was going to go with this design. You do know that a three-point pyramid, right, has 3 points, 3 sides, and some sort of base. So from the center of that base through the top, that pole will touch all 3 sides, and we'll have a cap, and that'll be a corner of one of these connecting. Although we have 4 going around, although we have 6 sides, we have 1 corner that occupies 3 areas, this cube over here. It's proven in Rubik's. If you take apart Rubik's, there's 26 pieces on Rubik's. There are 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom, or 24 colors mixed and match. In between, there's 2, 4, and then there's 6, 8 of 2, which is 16 matched. 16 and 24 equals 240. Then there are the 6 in the middle equaling to 46. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here is 8. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So it's around this way, it's around this way, and it's around this way. So don't forget, it's around this way. It's around this way. And then it's around the center. So remember that logo, because that's what you have to do to complete the cube. Going back to 1/4, which represents Earth, this is also representing the gateway pass for the cube. All zeros equal 6. This will now be, and it's the cat pass. It is a cat pass. It's by the sun. It also has something to do with the fox. That's the trail you go through, and the sky, because of what it says. So here is your bar mitzvah. The woman, okay, becomes a bat, and she's number 23. So the male starts with a 21, 21st, 23rd. So the same way as we started everything, 1, 2, 3, we go right back to where man and woman become who they are at the age of 12 and 13. 12, 1 and 2 equals to 3. 13, 1 and 3 equals to 4. See the way bar is in the front of bar mitzvah for female? It inverts to 21. Does that mean it then becomes male? I don't know. I don't know. 25 cents, 20, 45 and 43, 45 and 43, 45. This is 43 and this is 45. That is 88. And what's inside 88? What's inside the bookends from the sun to polarity of DC? Inside En, that is the 19. That is the spirit of man, created through the sky fox pass. The invert of this is number 65. The invert of this is 91. The invert of this is 67. The kilometer diameter of the moon is 3467. It can also be found at all the half roots. 3467. So we go 34, 67. This is what happens. 34, 67. This is what it shows me. So what is that actually telling me? Should I be drawing off of this? I'm just trying to see. Okay, so what this is, where does this come from? Is that on this dice cube, okay, or on the calculator, the 3 goes over to the 4, creating 7. So I did it invertedly. I put the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here's the 3 right over here. Whoop, that is wrong. This is wrong. I created a different design. Sorry. Let me see what I did. Let me see my mistake. Yes. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. So I went from 3 over to 4. I then went from the 7th planet over to the 6th planet. So I went from Earth to Mars. I connected Mars into Uranus. I went from Uranus, I went over to Saturn, and I went back to Earth again. Then I decided to build my building, my structure. Part of my structure, you see that? Part of the structure, what parts and how much is left. There's 2 areas plus a half. So there's 2.5 and 1.5. This is the way Earth is structured, 2.5 and 1.5. And the same thing is over here, 2.5 and 1.5. 1.5 is noted to be Mars. 2.5 is noted to be Earth. And 1 plus 2.5 equals to 3.5. 2 plus 1.5 equals to 3.5. 5 minus 1.5 equals to 3.5. 6 minus 2.5 equals to 3.5. Those are your polarities of your dice cube. They're explaining Earth and Mars. The center is number 35. But you won't find always 35 because that's a hairpin. It would be, let's say, 34 over to 36. So it can be, sorry, not 34 over to 36. It'll be 31 to 35, and 35 maybe to 40. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So that would be your basis. It's like if you split this area in half. This fine line of direction is the 225 marker. We only need to measure life flat. I don't need to measure life all the way around. It's all the way around 1, all the way around 2. It's a flat line. So this is 225 over here in this corner. So to match out the center of where this is, okay, to march out to where this is, you see this is your 360 degrees. You went over here on this 45-degree angle over here, and that's 225. So now what you're going to do is the occupation of the area space on each side over here. So it becomes 225 center to 216 to 234. So the 234, okay, here's your 90-degree mark. Each one of these quarters is 90. Straight up and down is 90. This way, okay, is 180. 180 degrees. This is your 90. 90 degrees, 180 degrees. So I'm talking inside this area here. And the 200, between the 180 and the 270, 6 times 3 and 9 times 3. Okay, this duck foot lays here. 216 and 684 stands for the seconds in the day. The heavens divide through Mars. This one over here stands for the moon, where 675 comes in. And this one over here stands for 666, and that is where the passage is. Your vibration, your passage is in the vibration. They all equal to 90. That 90 comes out of Jupiter and also comes out of 18 times 5, 9 and 5. Just understand the numbers. It is not 6 and 8, it is 9 and 5. Know how 9 and 5 is created. 5 is created by 14 and 23 or 32. 9 is created by 14 mathematically in the star system, but is then made up of 5 and 4 and 6 and 3. And what makes up 6 and 3? 77. Christ. 7 times 7, 49. 7 plus 7, 14. The total is 63. If you minus it, it becomes 35, and that's the energy inside. This becomes 4. This becomes 5. Together, they talk about the sun. 9 and 4, 13. 1 and 3 is 4. 1 and 4 is 5. 13 and 14, the division as well as the alphabet. This is what comes out of the word Christ.
Ruach. I'm going to get a little drink in the fridge. Just give me a second. Just give me a minute. My leg burns. Okay. So when I get lines, I say, are the lines alone? Can I do something with the lines? And then I start to
Stretch the lines out, and it gives me this angle. And when I take this angle, when I look at this angle, I can connect here, I can connect here, I can connect here. Because when you go on an angle, you're always going to have these half spaces. You see the X and then the O. Well, I'm not sure of what the numbers or the odds that go with this yet. I haven't thought of it. I'm in a condensed space. But when I draw it this way, you see the open wall is over here. So this also, I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if I can do this. Yeah, I could. I could. I always like to do this. And I also like to do this to the image. I like to call this the, actually, it's not supposed to be this. This is the wrong way to do it. I'm not supposed to draw a straight line. I'm not supposed to draw a straight line. I should have had this one over here, and this one over here, and this one over here. So I don't want to put that in. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. What does work is this. That's what works. It shows you that there's either going down, or if I did it the other way, you'd be going up through the ration of this design. And this design comes to you by creating 6 and 1, 7, or 6 and 7, 13, 1 and 3 is 4. 3 and 4, 7. So if I did 3 and 4, 7, 1, 6, 7, I would get, I wouldn't get a 45x. I would get 2/3 because I only went up 2/3. 3/3 and 2/3 playing on ice. It looks like it's ice hockey. Everything works in 20 minutes. The game is over after 60. So this is where I get that 7 rationality, and also where I get the not only the 7, but I want to create numbers that will equate to either 10, okay, which will create to either 4 or 13, or numbers that will create 16 or 7. So when I connect my numbers, I just want to see exactly how I'm going to explain this. So here's number 7. So can we create another 7? Yes. 9 plus 7 equals to 16. 1 plus 6 equals to 7. I find that in our life that we live, one of the most powerful formations is the 1-4-7 formation. And this formation is also set out by Nikola Tesla. Tends to not agree. What I agree with Nikola Tesla is that with the energy of 3, 6, 9, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you will notice that 9, skip 2 over to 3, skip 2 over to 6. So if you're going to do it that way, I'm going to go 1, skip 2 over to 4. This is what the system we're working on right now. In here, it went 1, 2 over to 4. Okay? It went into the center over here down to 4. But in real number basis, and not this arc over here, I'm going to show you a trueness to what he actually did. And it was this. You cannot connect all 6. That's in your rotation. That's your complete rotation. That is controlled. Or is it not controlled? Because I'm going to show you, see how perfect it is? 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. One, 2, 4, 8, and if we do it backwards, we end up with this design over here. Just trying to figure out what exactly is going on inside this piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go to Mr. Tesla and go into his piece over here and take out the calculator. Whoop, I'm going to take out the calculator, right, and see if the magic cat's going to come around. Okay, magic cat, go sit on there for a second. Oh, it's because I got something, the ram's horn. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at, can we get that calculator? We're going to go 9. Okay, we're going to do a design on this after with this. Okay, but now we're going to go 9, 6, 3. And we're going to go 9, 6, 3. See the marking? Then we're going to go to the row 2, 5, 8. We're going to go to the row, we're only looking at the red one, 2, 5, 8 with 9, 3, 6. We're not going to use the 1, 4, 7. We're going to use the 1, 4 set. We're going to use the 1. Okay. We're going to use the, this one, let me see, just as I'm using a pole. The pole is from 1 through in between 5 and 6. And I'm not sure which way I was going to run these poles, but you see there's a 1 in between. There's the dot in between this arrow over here, the 2 empty spaces. So the 1 runs over there. Between here and here, it's the 55 area. It's a pass marking. It's in between the 2. When I create these two over here, it becomes a pass marking between 2 and 3. It becomes 2.5, and it becomes a direct marking, marking this on number 7. 7 and 2.5, 7 and 7, the gateway to Earth. So where is that last? So we use this one, we use this one, we use this one. This marking over here becomes 8.5. It is matrix, and we hit dynamically right on number 4. So this becomes 4 and 8.5. In this scenario over here, you can see the two are tilted differently. Look at the cube in the center. In this one over here, look at the cube in the center. Don't look at the Chrysler sign. Look at the cube. Yes, Chrysler, Mack trucks, and a few other pieces of equipment out there are designed to show you that there's an alternate way, even if it doesn't function properly. Okay, there's people that just... Now, so in both equations, we both use the 9, but in this one, we use 258. The 258 is shoving itself out that way. The 147 is pointing that way. So in this design, we run through, okay, 9 and 1. What is the area space between 9 and 1? 9.5. And we run through 9.5. I'm running this directly into number 5 over here, 5 and 9.5. That is Neptune. When I run the next collar between these two, does this collar have a number yet? The number is right over here. The number is number 2. And it seems like, is it 2? Yes, so we hit directly on 2, and 2 hits 6.5 over here. And so we did, okay, and this one over here, this is 9, this is 8. So this is 8.5, and this one comes out here. Did I get this right? It's number 4? 4 and 8.5. This one over here is quite different. Now you can see how the cube stands upright. In this one, there is no 3, 6, and 9. Okay, there is no angle. If there's no angle except other than the slicing angle in front of us dividing two sides, here we get the point of 3 corners on the cube, and here we get the point of 3 corners. When we don't have the 45 angle and we have the 9 angle, the 45 angle, okay, is the breaking in through the sun, the DNA, our birth, etc. Here we have the 90, which is 96, so it's a cycle in rotation with no energy of 369 in this one over here. It is bypassed 369. For what reason is that? We're going to look into it. First of all, the pole runs through 9 and 4.5, the sun. The other pole runs converted 3 and in between 7.5, the moon. And then our last line runs 6 in between 1.5 and 2, and that would be Mars. So we've associated that this seems to be our planet over here. And all the power is running through and controlled by 369 over here. But this is what I believe we should have been running before, and understanding language. And you can also see this as going this way through that dimension. So that is the Tesla energy, one side of it. We were talking about what the difference between 20 and 25 is. What is the difference between 80 and 100? I don't want to get really into that. We were talking about the Bat's mitzvah and the bar mitzvah, and just to note that there's only a difference of 2. So the Bat's mitzvah, the bat, is number 122. What is missing in between here is 121, and that's 1111, or 2 and 2. 2 times 2, 2 plus 2. We have 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. This will create 33. The 33 parts of the rotation and creation. Aquarius, number 107. That's how we started. It was 107 red, because every one of these letters is red. The reverse of Aquarius, and I've done this before. You know what? Can you just give me a second? I just had a message. I was waiting for somebody. Just hold on a second.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay, where were we? We were on the moon. We were having a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. We were having Aquarius. Were we having an aquarium? So we had an aquarium. We'd have one aquarium, two aquariums. How many aquariums? An aquarium, quarry, quarter, walrus, Aquarius, AQ. What is AQ? Ace and Queen. What else is inside Aquarius? The reverse of Aquarius. The Q and the U comes together, and that is when you play the game of 21. The average winning hand is between 17, or they usually say stand on 17 to 21, which is the Q and the U, and the Q comes together, which is in the house, and the U of your creation. It is your gateway to creation. It is your alpha beta creation connected to who you are. Is the student number 56, 1 times 5, 1 plus 5, 2 times 3, 2 plus 3, from Mars. Okay. So where else can I go? I'm going to have to go get another book. So I'm going to go get another book. Going to get a book. A book. I am going to get a book. Never enough books. Never enough books. Write and think and write and think and write. Okay. So we're going to mark this book on November 7th, 8th, 2021. My father's birthday yesterday. He was 83. That means he starts his 84th year. So let me see where I'm going to go with Aquarius. We're going to look it up. I wish I was able to share my screen somewhere. Let me see. Share screen. So hold on a second. If I'm going to share my screen, I got to take a whole bunch of stuff off of this, right? And then I'd want to share my screen. So okay, so I want to try and share my screen. Can I share my screen? Let me see. Share screen. Share screen. Whoop. Oh no, that's way too big. I think there's a cat in here. Hello, cat. Well, that is a terrible. I can't. How do I get out of here? I'll be there in a second. Okay. Where was I going to go? I was going to take Aquarius to another level, but something came to mind. Okay, I keep seeing this in the business news, and I like to keep up with some of the business news. There were 4 names that came out, and the 4 names that came out were Mara, Riot, AMC, and GameStop. And the reason I picked these is because apparently Disney is looking to get associated with this one over here, and maybe even the flicks. So when you write these all down, it's actually saying Marg, more like the gateway to Mars. 6-2, Riot, 20, 35, 45, 55, and 7, 62. AMC 17. So this seems like Mara is the gateway to the rest. 33. It's showing it. And a good part of this is happening in the land of numbers where Hoover Dam is. Okay. And it says the gateway or the gear. Here's your gateway and here's your crossing. And this is the bridge, the transfer point between this one over here. This is where your ledgers are now being run. Now I want to do a little something with planets.
Okay, I was going to do a little something with planets. I don't know if I want to jump onto Aquarius yet, or we wanted to understand our planets just a little bit. So I wanted to check my other pages if there's questions not coming up, because I've got Mighty Mouse over here, and let me see what else is showing up. Okay, let me look at it over here. Okay, I'm going to explain this. Apparently, there are supposed to be what they call planets. And apparently, these are the names. And apparently, Mercury is the first planet next to the sun. And apparently, Deimos is one of Mars' moons. And apparently, Phobos is one of Mars' moons. And apparently, the name of the Earth moon is Luna. And apparently, Neptune is the 8th planet. And apparently, it's one planet away from Pluto, where Pluto is a planet that they say it doesn't exist, yet they still have a name. So whether it exists or not, they made up the name. It's here or there. I don't care where it is. It's Pluto. It's Uranus. Inside these 3 planets, there are 3 planets with the same interest. There's 2 area spaces here. There's 1 area space here for the number of letters. I don't care. Now I'm going to look at number 2, the distance between the letters. This is your Saturn. This is your Venus. And this is Uranus. Each one of these has a value of 54. This one is broken up. I don't know what it means yet. I like to say that we go around and around on the vines of Saturn. Starts with the letter S, starts with the letter U, and it starts with the letter N. So somehow this combination, okay, I'm assuming, okay, is going to be where the Saturn sun is. So the Saturn sun rotates, okay, from Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Now, when I say this, don't forget, this can be a bodily function as well, because you only see what your eyes let you see. You only imagine what you could imagine. You only know what you know. So anyways, we have these planets over here. These are the 3 suns. So we have Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. This one is 6, 7, and 8. And in 6, 7, and 8, I want to know if there's anything that can tell me if there's any possibility that 6, 7, and 8 come together. So I take out the 7 card, I take out the 6, and I look at the 8. And is there anything in common between the 6, 7, and 8? And the common in 6, 7, and 8 is 6, 6, and 6. That's what's common. The difference is the 10 here and the 2 here. When you talk in French, you will say 60 and 10. When you talk in French, you will say 60 and 20. But for me, I mean, you will say 4 times 20. So I'm not sure if they're referring to this and this, because the other 20 that comes into the relationship is the true center part right over here. So I'm not going to do that. I just want to talk about 6, 7, and 8 all I need to do is count the 8 card. Does this mean 2 moons of Earth? Does this mean 2 moons of Mars and 1 moon of Earth? If I put 2 7s together, it'll show 1 and 1. You follow? If I put 2 7s together, the other 7 this way, it'll show 1 and 1. So I come over here. I'd have to cut the card, right? I'd have to cut the card. And you see the way, I mean, I have to cut this piece out. I don't want to cut my cards. But if I put two sevens together and cut one hole or an eye hole, call that eye hole for the loon, you'd have exactly an 8 inside 7 and 7. There are many, 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 many other things. I just want to do something very, very short here, in which 77 come up over here, right? But this area has never made a point. And this area drops to number 1. When this point meets, we have one more minus area. We have the 8 area over here, and the 8 area over here, and the 8 area over here. I have to draw it out. Let's just blank it. So we're going to go back to the planets. So what I'm going to do is in Mercury and everything to do with number 1, I'm going to go into this position over here. This is number 1 Mercury. This is number 2 Venus. This is number 3 Earth. 3 is equivalent to 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 3 plus 0. 6 equals to 1 plus 5, 3 and 3, and 24. 5 equals 1 and 4, 3 and 2, 2 and 3. So when I go to Jupiter, the total value inside of the center core for Jupiter is 74. And that is Jupiter, it is Jesus, and it is energy. It is also running the cycle of the moon, the time, the oceans, the cycle of the female through what they call the male 28. The word man is 28 and 13. 13 for the word man, 13 to become man. 13 is that cycle of the moon. When 13 runs, 13, 31, 13 equals 75. 31, 13, 31, 13 equals 57. This is the running of the word moon. This will then talk about electric company, and it will reduce itself in mathematics equaling to 47, which is the same numeric value into Jesus. 11 and 12, 23. 11 and 12, 23. So this is how man comes into the moon. So your planets that come together that we were talking before is going to be Saturn, number 93. Neptune. Okay, whoop. Neptune, number 95. Uranus, up to 94. Your 3 sun planets are going to be 81 Venus, is going to be 93 Saturn, is going to be 94 Uranus. So this would be that design right over here connecting that. These are the 3 initials that create the sun. These are the 3 planets that have the numeric value for the sun. So when I connect these 3 planets, the 2nd, the 6th, and the 7th, the 2nd, the 6th, and the 7th, my equation over here is 62. The 6th over here is 78. It becomes the gateway. Mars, 7 and 8, G and H. And then the next one would be the 7 over here, and that would be 82. That would be the running of the cycle of the moon inside Uranus to the gateway, which is fabricated through Q and Mars. Okay, run it through Saturn, and this lonely soul over here, which is going to be the divider between two. The mathematics for this will end up showing me the letter T. The letter T is the division of 2 sides. It's also going to show me the 20th letter in the alphabet, and the 7th letter is that G gateway. So the total value of this block of numbers is 58, 62, 66, 70, 74, 78, 82, 86, and 90. So here it shows our birth. Here it shows the divider of the 7th gate through Neptune. The reverse is showing me that Pluto. So if this is the reverse of the 7th gate, what does it mean if the reverse in the spirit is Pluto? Remember, there's three numbers, three basic numbers: the 1, the 4, and the 7. The 1, 4, 7 is right over here in this row. The total here is 7 and 5 is 12, and 8 is 20. 8 and 2 is 10, is 0 and 1. 6, 7, and 6 and 7 is 13, and 8 is 210. So I can see that's going to connect to my moon. This is 222, which will connect to memory. This one is 234, and that will be our vibration. This crisscrossing here, this crisscrossing here, and this crisscrossing here will be 222 by 4, which is 888, or half of 1776. And these are our numbers. So when you add up these 3 row of numbers, you get 4, 5, 6. Then you get 3, 4, 5. And 1 is 6. And then you get 2, 4, 6. You end up with the total roulette of 666. I think we're going to maybe end it here. There's more connections on when you start playing with the initials of the planets, and then you take the direct value of the planet. 103, 81, 52, 51, 99, 93. See, it's 54 and 40, which is 94. This is 95, and this one is 84. See, 84 and 94, and 54. This is in the 9th position. Anyways, tired right now, not sure what to say. Take off my max cap. Thank you for watching this video. It's 5:30 at night. Gets dark early. They shut the sun off. Hopefully we'll be able to get back our 16-hour-a-day sun. Time-wise, I'm not sure if I finished off. There was one little teeny-weeny thing I want to reiterate that I did. I'm not happy that I did not finish in this piece. Okay, and probably didn't finish a lot of it. Is that when 2, 3, 4 become the new norm, from instead of A, B, C, it becomes B, C, D. Okay, but in there, in your telephone, they still use it as ABC, but they use it as ABC on the 2 key. So I'm not sure which way I should go right now, but right now I'm going this way. So this equals to 24, and ABC 1, 2, 3 equals to 6, where 1, 2, 3, okay, equals to 6, equals to 9. So the new norm is B, C, D equaling to 24 and 9. So we now have a new rotation, 6 and 8 in the birth of 09. Rotation in the heavens. All zeros equal 6. We'll now have 69 and 68. And when we create it, 9 and 6, it creates the 68 and 69, creating 17. 1 and 7 equals to 8. 6 and 8 are the dividing gates. 1.5 times 6 is 9. 333, 333, 333. Let's say on ice. So in anyways, we can get back to, if we want, we can do that. And did I have to do it that way? I could have did it another way. I'm just looking at different ways that I can connect this. Okay, tired. Time to go. Say goodbye to the cat. Cat, say hello. Yeah, didn't have a game plan. I made a game plan, and it's done. I want to thank you for showing up, for being here. And if there's something you want to play with numbers with, or something to compare, something to do, I don't know, but it's got to be real. It's got to be real. Thank you for watching this video. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus.